Alright, hello YouTube, this is Sai. So in this week's video I will once again go and demonstrate some plug and mix plugins, and this time it is Deluxe Tilt, which is a very straightforward plugin. Here's input volume, output volume, and here we have three preset kind of curves, and here we have so that it, as you can see from the picture, it boosts the lows and drops the highs, and here it drops the lows and boosts the highs. So let's try it on. So seems like, you know, if you are doing mastering, for example, and you think that your mixing is just a bit more high end, done. So very straightforward. So let's try out the three different modes. So okay, as you can hear, there is a very subtle difference, but they all sound kind of nice. All right, the next one, Liquid Air Q. Alright, as we can see, this is a 3-band EQ, very straightforward. Here is you select the frequency and boost, and let's see how it sounds without the plugin, and with the plugin. Okay, it seems that we have to drop the output volume. Alright, so it's EQ. Let's try air guitar. Alright, it like brings out the good frequencies of the guitar out, which is kind of cool. Next one we have is Retro Filter and Retro Equalizer. So let's try those two. Why am I talking like this? It sounds kind of funny. Alright, so here's the Retro Filter. As you can see, once again, very simple controls: input volume, output volume, and then presence, boost or cut, plus minus 10 dB, and a high pass low pass filter. And let's try it out with the default settings. It shouldn't make any difference. It makes a small difference, but it's very subtle. Okay, so let's try just the high pass. Yes, it's very subtle, and I really like that. So if you listen to the of the guitar, very subtle. And then for the low pass, once again, very subtle, and I really like that. Okay, then presence boost plus 10 dB at 3K, that should be very noticeable. and without the plugin just for comparison. Okay, and then let's check out the retro equalizer. Alright, here once again, super simple. Here we select the frequency. Here we select again low shelf, mid boost or cut, plus minus 12 dB, and high frequency. So input output volume again, once again, very simple interface. So let's try it out. Okay, so by default it doesn't do anything. So let's try out the low shelf boost first. So okay, so let's try to cut it, how much it cuts. Once again, it seems that the filter is very gentle, which I really like, because usually the ones that are very harsh are usually, or the ones that are very effective are usually also easily very harsh. So even though I do -12, it's still very musical sounding. Okay, so let's try something that fits the guitar. So I'll boost the high end just a bit. So maybe starting from here. So we have it as a shelf or a band, and then we have a high Q or so narrow or wide boost. So let's try this first. So first we cut out the low end just a bit, and then we boost the highs. So let's see how it sounds. And then we find a frequency of the guitar that sounds very nice. So this one actually sounds kind of bad, so let's try to cut it instead. So 2K, and let's cut it just a bit, and then just raise the output volume. Brings out the, you know, the cheap sound of the plectrum. So let's try it. Or then we can just try to make a bit wider boost at a different frequency. Okay, as you noticed, the equalizer is very simple to use. Only frequency and boost or cut amount, so very Neve-esque. And I really like that it's stepped filtered, so it's not like plus 1.72 dB. So let's see if we have any other EQ plugins that I might have missed no, I think that's about it. This time we are demonstrating the Ultramaxit, which is their master bus limiter kind of thingy. And by default, it's once again very, very simple. Here's the output ceiling, ranging to +0 and -30. And let's put it to where I usually put it, which is -3, with all the limiters in the world. And then let's just raise the threshold a bit and see how loud we can get stuff. Okay, as we saw that it goes to +30 dB of boost, which is kind of insane. And it actually sounds really nice when you do it in moderate amounts, so let's try it again. Very aggressive kind of sounding limiter, and I kind of like it. But once again, very simple plugin to use, very quick and dirty, nothing extra stuff. The retro limiter. Okay, so as we can see, the interface is very straightforward. Here's the input gain, output gain or makeup gain, and here's the mix. So 100 is wet, 0% is totally dry, so no affected signal, and here is basically a parallel compressor mode, and here's the limiting mode, and here's the recovery time, and here are 3 modes. So basically this works like so that it has a certain internal threshold that where it starts to work. So let's turn it on and let's try to turn it up and see what happens. Okay, as you heard, this is basically the release time. When we had it at the slowest settings, when the snare hit, everything else got ducked, but the snare pumped through very nicely. So let's listen to it again. And when we had it on the other end, the cymbals were pumping a bit unmusically. But if you are going for that sound, for example, for room max, that might work very well. So let's try it again. So around here, with these settings and this amount of gain reduction, it sounds very musical to me, the pumping I mean. But once again, very musical sounding compressor limiter. I really like it. Okay, so let's also try the retro compressor. And as we can see, also the very same settings, except here we have set it as attack and release and the mix. So let's try it. And these are 3 different release times. So okay, let's try how it sounds. Alright, as we can hear, very similar sounding than the limiter, and it behaves just a bit differently, but I really like them both, so give them a try. This time we are checking the Electro Optical, which is it's kind of like LA2A style or LA3A kind of compressor, but I think it's LA2A because it has 202 on the number. Okay, so let's see what we have here. So here we have response time and output volume, and here we have a knee. It's soft knee, or then we have like a side chain detector thingy. Okay, but let's try it out. I have it set on drum loop, and let's put it on bypass first and check how it sounds without the plugin. And let's turn it on. Okay, as we can hear, it's very aggressive sounding compressor, like a LA2A's. So this time we will demonstrate the plug and mix analoger or anal auger. So let's check it out. So this is the dry and wet mix button, output volume and amount of drive, lows, highs, and the style of saturation, so tube saturation, tape saturation, or tube and tape. So let's try it out. I have it inserted on the drum bus, and let's see how it sounds. Okay, let's try out a few presets. So bass fattener. Let's see if we have something for drums. Kill the bass. Loop dirt. Loop dirt sounds kind of like cool. So let's try that. And without the plugin. Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of not subtle, so that's always a good thing about a plugin. I will demonstrate you the P&M Trans Control plugin. It is, as you can see from the text, a transient designer similar to the one that the SPL does. So this one controls the amount of sustain, and this one controls the amount of sustain, this one controls the amount of attack. And let's put on a drum loop and let's see how it sounds. Okay, I have loaded now a drum loop, and let's hear how it sounds. And I have turned now the trans control on, and I will start to adjust the attack and sustain control. And this is the output volume, so it's really simple plugin, only 3 knobs, you don't need more. Okay, and then if we accommodate it with, say, plug and mix analoger. And with the brightness, and turn the clipper on. Alright, I think we have the trans control is very powerful plugin, as you can hear. The Vinylizer. So this is kind of like just a lo-fi plugin that you want to use in very, very subtle amounts. So you might want to actually print this out even by itself and then just try out what it does. It's very similar to the free plugin that Ozone makes, which is I think called Isotope Vinyl. Okay, and let's check out what it does. So here we have a noise. Okay, that was the noise, and this was the EQ for it. And that was the like dust particle kind of thingy. Okay, and then let's try out the scratches. Okay, now we have our vinyl vinyl sound for the drums, and let's see how it sounds. Yeah, I actually think that you would be more wiser to actually use this plugin on its own track instead of as an insert for another track. So thank you for watching and make good music.